Facebook.
Throw it, restore it. ColonialBrass.net. Or call 713-784-7765. Colonial Brass.
Have you written a book? You can
Morning,
become
Facebook
a
folks.
author with Dorrance
Special.
Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company.
Howdy.
Countless authors have trusted
Oh, look at
Dorrance
that.
for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes
Do you
your
do
book
much on
available where
Facebook?
people buy books,
No.
like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one
Man,
step
my
closer
system
to
seems to be going
realizing your
slow.
dream of becoming a published author
you're not
and
eating
seeing
meat.
your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this
Now you're
free
starting
call
stuff,
right
huh?
now to
Yep.
Dorrance Publishing and get your
That's
free
funny.
guide to publishing. Call right now.
Hey, Nikki. So my dad may have lost his sunglasses at the game last night. Is there a lost and found or something like that?
I can text.
If you
Hold
don't,
on.
if you don't know, that's okay. But
I actually have no idea.
hey, morning, Brent. Morning, Denise. Morning, Nora.
We'll examine your credit report and help you get it back to where you want it, allowing you
All
to
right, 30
qualify for that
seconds,
new
guys.
car,
All right, cool.
house, or credit card. We'll create an affordable month-to-month plan for you to repair your credit effectively.
Yeah.
Some clients have seen results in
Yeah,
as
my
few
dad
as
lost
30 to
his
45 days.
sunglasses,
Call
and
855-450-9944.
I told him I can't imagine anybody would take 'em
855-450-9944.
home.
855-450-9944.
Their prescription too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following program, paid for by Right Path Real Estate, does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station. It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
Welcome to the show.
Get ready. The guide that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hot mics.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817 is our call-in number if you want to call and ask questions. Join live in the studio with my brother from another mother, Elijah Randall. How are you, sir?
Hey.
So the Fast Track is in the house.
Yep.
832-742-9992 is y'all's number.
Yes.
And it's fasttrackremodeling.com. So how far out are y'all right now in terms of schedule?
Right now, we're looking probably 3
weeks?
weeks, depending on the job.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean that somebody closes on the house and it has to take 3 weeks for y'all to get started. What that means is that once it's on the calendar, then y'all are really 3 weeks from having a crew that's available, right?
Right. So I guess
So you could coordinate.
There'd be sometimes there's a difficulty in that there's title issues with the job
Right.
or closing issues.
Sure.
Right. And so we wouldn't be able to hold a crew for somebody.
Correct.
But absolutely right, with a little bit of
Advanced planning.
Advanced planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And agreements. Yeah.
Yeah, because, typically you're going to discover, once you get the title commitment, you're typically going to know if it's clean, then you're going to be able to make the closing on time and all that kind of stuff. And,
Right.
and a lot of these properties, I'd say maybe 65, 70% of them don't have those kind of issues. So 3 weeks. And then, so what's typically the process when somebody's getting started with you guys?
Yeah, once they get it under contract, the property that they're wanting to invest in, we like to be called to come out. Those that want to use an inspection process, we like that to happen just before we come out there so they get to see the full list of things that they may want to be messing with or changing or fixing.
Yeah, because that's a great point. So a lot of people think that what a contractor does is the same role as the inspector, and you're going to find all the things that are wrong and then point those out to the investor and show them. But those are totally different roles. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So, an inspector is going to spend more time actually looking at some of the
Yeah, they spend on average about 3 hours,
3 hours,
right?
okay, yeah. So in the attic, going through all the different studs up there, if there's any wires that are spliced or something in that space, they're running all of the major systems. I don't have time really to run all the major systems while I'm there. We're looking at the things that need to be done for the investor to get it done.
Yeah, so you're walking a house typically in what time period?
About an hour and a half
Okay.
To go through the full list. That's what we're able to do with our software that we've developed to really go line item by line item for people. And then at the end of that walkthrough, they get the bid. So yeah, it's under contract. If you want an inspector, then yes, great. Otherwise, we'll come out. We'll do within an hour and a half, you'll have your bid.
Yeah, that's one of the things I talked about at the weekend retreat this past weekend is that if you're not getting a detailed scope of work from your contractor, then there's all kinds of rooms for ambiguity. It seems like that oftentimes what an investor wants is just to walk out and say, hey, I want to hand you my money, and when I'm done, I want you to hand me a property that's, like brand new because I'm putting my name on it, all those kind of things.
Right.
So tell me where communication is really important and things like that.
Great. In fact, that's why I require that the person is there at least for the first few walkthroughs that we do, and I'd say if we haven't started one of those projects, I'd still want them there until we start and finish one of the projects with them, because expectations are really big.
Yeah.
Different people walking through the house, they see things differently.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that the work should be done differently, but it does mean for us to be on the same page that we at least communicate about it. Texture on the walls is a big one. If you're going to keep anything, what are the pluses and minuses of keeping something?
Yeah, because the trouble is that when you're walking through a house and everything looks terrible, and you see a ceiling fan, you're like, that's one of the best things about the house.
In the current house.
Yeah, in the current house, that's that's an A
or
plus,
a tub.
right? Or a bathtub, right? But then when you make everything else around that look great, suddenly that's the worst looking item. You're like, well, why didn't you change that? Well, thought we talked about on the front end you were trying to save money. Well, now it's just.
Yeah, it's so funny because Jeff and I get different people.
Correct.
It's the same person, but they're different. So in the beginning, it's about budget, right? And we understand that, and we try to work through all those things. But once that money's been spent at the very end, it's like, oh, no, I want it to be exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that feeling, but we have to be realistic. What is it that we actually did in the beginning?
And the trouble is it's not as inexpensive. It's the cheapest time for y'all to replace, like a ceiling fan, for example, is when your crews are out there. When you're doing the final walkthrough, your crews have moved on to someplace else. And
just
now
to come back for a ceiling. What if it's the tub, though? That's even worse.
Right, it's way worse. Yeah, because now you've got the tub surrounds affected. And
the new tub surround has to be
and the
chipped
drain
out.
line and all, everything, which affects the flooring, affects you could scratch the toilet because oftentimes that's a really tight fit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, it wouldn't be the best time to do that.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's a little bit like, now that I see everything looking so nice, I think I do want to go back and fix the foundation.
Yeah. What do you think that the likelihood of something breaking would be? Yeah, very likely.
Yeah. I remember just recently I heard somebody say that, the foundation company told them that they could lift the entire foundation to get it up out of the floodplain, and you could go ahead and do all your repairs first, and then we'll lift it later, and that won't affect anything. I'm like, yeah, right. All right, so it's Fast Track Remodeling. It's fasttrackremodeling.com, 832-742-9992. That's 832-742-9992. So, what I recognize is, unlike a lot of contractors that do both retail, outdoor kitchens, owner-occupied properties, investor properties, a lot of times I met a plumber at the last Jet Lending event, and I said, well, what's y'all's niche? Oh, we do everything. We do retail, we do commercial, we do investor, we do it. I'm like, I've never found that that's a very good fit. Because how you would price something for a retail customer when you've got, the painters in there and they're having to move the furniture and mom calls up the day before, the crew's supposed to show up and says, little Johnny's, sick, and so can you come back tomorrow or the next day because he's going to be staying home from school. I mean, all that kind of stuff. Y'all, you figured out a niche and what is a good fit for y'all versus what's not.
So in general, the house has to be vacant. The speculative nature of the investment has to be true. The person who's going to be living in the home is not involved in the rehab.
Yeah, why won't y'all do an owner-occupied house?
There's quite a few reasons, but to keep it short, I'll just say this: we've tried it a few times, and just about every single time we recognized there was a lot of extra management involved. Yeah. And so when we started identifying why...
Management on y'all's side?
On our side.
Yeah, okay.
And when we started identifying why, there's multiple reasons. One of them, we keep standardized process plus standardized products.
Right.
And not everybody that is going to be the homeowner wants those exact products.
Yeah.
They're great because
They don't like that 4-light breakfast.
but they're neutral
room
enough
light.
that everybody likes
Sure.
them when they show
Yeah.
up. It's like I could see myself here.
But
if you had to pick it out,
Yeah, can
you
I
might
just
not
pick out
it.
my own? It's just a breakfast
Right.
room light. How big of a
Right.
deal is that? You're going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
I'll deliver to make it easy for you.
Yeah, we so funny because availability's an
Yeah,
issue
right.
if everything matches.
Right.
Sometimes too, the stuff that we use for a reason,
Right.
Because it's able to cover some of the holes that
Sure, right.
electricians don't always put in the exact spot. And you didn't want a rewiring
Right.
in your house, but you want your light that won't cover that hole.
Right.
So now we have to rewire. Yeah, lots of things that we're able to cover with our. We have smart products that are proven, and so not everybody's game for that when it's their own house. Let's just say it that way. The second main thing I think is just that when people go to bed at night and their house is being worked on for them to live in,
Yeah.
they're thinking about the
Yes.
house. When an investor goes to bed, they're not thinking about
They're thinking about money.
Yeah,
Right,
money, right.
right.
And hoping nothing really goes wrong with the
Right.
deal. But it's not a that tile really would look good if we did that other. You haven't put it in yet, and so changes and change orders and issues and management. More questions too,
So I got a question from our Pathfinder group on Tuesday, and it was, how often should a good general contractor go out and inspect a job?
Yeah, it depends, I guess, a little bit on the job and how quick the job is going to be done. There are certain key points where definitely a contractor needs to, or the general needs to be out there to look at stuff. But it's a regular kind of almost every other day sort of process for us. But I think it's good too to have teams where you have a foreman that's in direct communication all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what we have. So we're not just hiring a new crew each time. We have crews that have been around, most of them for over 3 years, some up to 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
With us. And so there's a great trust in, if something is coming up real time, that foreman is in direct communication with the head of that job.
Okay, so what's the process if somebody wants to get started with you, wants you to come out and give them an estimate? How does that process work? I need to have it under contract.
Yes.
And I need to have it inspected if it's going to be inspected, right?
Yep.
And you don't want to, somebody say, oh, I'm not planning on getting it inspected. Oh, and then now I want to get it
Yeah,
inspected.
because I've already done the work to do
Yeah,
the full bid, and
right.
then they want me to go back to add things I don't remember because I'm not there on site.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so you want it inspected, and then what's next? Then give you guys a call?
Yeah, give us a call. I think-
832-742-9992.
Or on the website, they can actually do the get a bid scheduled right there at fasttrackremodeling.com.
It's linked to your calendar?
perfect. No, not exactly, but enough to where we'll actually follow up with the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So
Yep.
so there's an email form or something like
Yes.
that, and so somebody will get back to that manages
Exactly.
your calendar.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, so it's fasttrackremodeling.com. It's 832-742-9992. Is there a job that's too big or too small? Because you hear a lot of advertisements, no job too big or too small, but that's not entirely true with you guys.
Right. So the smaller than $8,000 worth of work, not including the big ticket items like HVAC or roof, we don't like doing that because we try to commit to our crews that
Yeah.
have been around with us so long and done a great, fantastic job. We want them to not have to jump from job to job to job.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And then I'd say on the high side, typically we don't usually go over 100 unless we've had a previous relationship with the client. And so that's just because
I think y'all are doing 3 jobs for us over
yeah, I know,
right now.
I know, which is fine with
Yeah,
us for
right.
you,
Sure, right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But the relationship has to be developed. That's part of partnership in this business. We believe that's important.
Okay.
But the length of a time and job like that, if
Yeah.
somebody was to show up every single day,
Right,
and
that'd be a nightmare.
That'd be a nightmare.
I wouldn't want to show up every day.
Right.
That's the reason why I have you. So it's fasttrackremodeling.com, fasttrackremodeling.com, 832-742-9992, 832-742-9992. All right, we'll have NextGen appraisals on the other side of the break.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. See you, man.
Mike's off.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling.
You wanna do
really
a quick
does
mic
manage
check?
it all.
Hello,
Give us a
good
call
morning.
today at
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
742-9992.
Yep, your levels
Again,
are
that's
good.
832-742-9992.
Sing-song
Or reach
voice.
us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Sing a
Are you
song.
expecting to close accurately on time
Do you know
and
that
with
one?
lots
No.
of
Nope.
communication on your home purchase? You've come to
But
the
I liked
right
it so
place.
far.
I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage.
What have
Our
you guys been
goal
up to?
is
It's been
give
a
our
while.
Borrowers and referral partners an
Went to the
amazing
baseball game
experience
yesterday.
during the loan
Oh, yeah?
process.
Yeah.
What's going
My
on right
team
now in
believes in
sports?
putting people and culture
The big
before
news
results.
is the
Our
Rockets,
company
really. I mean,
concentrates on building
that's
those teams who operate with structure,
that's the big news because
process,
the Rockets
and
clinched the
recognition
first
for going the
round of the
extra mile for
playoffs
you.
last night.
This way,
Okay.
we have the energy to
And the
make this
game
your
before, the
best
one on
home
Monday
purchase
night,
ever.
they did
Give us a
something
call
historic,
today to find out the
which is
simple steps
kind of a
to
big
get
deal.
started.
I mean, it hadn't
yeah?
happened in my
Jennifer
lifetime
Hernandez,
that.
the Hernandez
So they,
team
at the end of the half, it
Legacy
was
Mutual Mortgage.
50-49 Houston
Jennifer.legacymutual.com
ahead of the
or
Timberwolves.
call
In the third
713-579-3611.
quarter, they scored another 50. 50
Again,
points in one quarter. I mean, it hadn't been done since
Jennifer.legacymutual.com.
1962,
We
which
can't
is
wait to
before my
consult with
birth
you
date.
soon. NMLS
Mine too.
Yeah.
51447.
Very cool.
Equal housing
So, yeah, 50
opportunity
points
lender.
in.
NMLS
So,
514497.
and Minnesota scored like 20 in that same quarter, so they scored 30 more points than Minnesota.
I don't follow really any
Yeah.
sports. I like going to games though.
See?
It's just like the crowd
Yeah.
and the food and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, we went to the
We offer retirement accounts
to the
that
game
can be
yesterday
used to
against
invest in real estate, promissory
the
notes,
Anaheim
private
Angels.
entities,
Okay.
and much more. Many
Is
of
it-
our
it's still-
clients
I
put
guess it's
money
Los
from
Angeles
their
Angels now,
IRAs
isn't it?
to fund real estate
The LA
deals
Angels,
all
yeah.
over the country.
Not-
We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we
Yeah,
do
so then they
hold
won,
free
and it was a good
networking
game.
events,
With
weekly
my dad
educational
and,
classes,
Jeff and
free
Elijah from Fast
consultations
Track.
with an IRA
Oh, okay.
specialist. For more information, visit our website at
And we also had
questira.com
another
or
group
call
of like
us at
8 seats, and it was
1-855
Daniel Gallagher and
Fund
Ryan
IRAs. To tap
Oh,
into
okay.
the
And his gal
$24
and-
trillion
and,
in retirement accounts in the U.S.
Andre King and
call Quest IRA
Andy Speed
at
from Draco.
Yeah.
And Veronica
Fund
and
IRAs,
that was
or
a
go to our
good group.
website,
Cool.
Yeah.
questira.com.
In fact,
Hi, Clint Kearns here, attorney and avid real estate investor. You know the greatest mistake
Think.
real estate investors make is not understanding the potential liability that exists from owning real estate. At Anderson Business, Legal, and Tax Advisors, we specialize in protecting real estate investors in all 50 states. In
So
addition
that
to
was
structuring
Andre
your
and
business for
Veronica.
optimum
Oh,
protection,
cool.
We provide guidance so you
I
pay
imagine
the
I could
least
just
amount of
click
taxes
on-
available under the law. We have 150 employees that range from lawyers to CPAs to estate planners
Yeah, that
and
was-
much more.
Nice.
I went over and sat with them for a little bit, too.
Invisible investor strategy
Cool.
today
Yeah.
at AndersonAdvisors.com.
It's a good group
Or
of
call
people.
for a
Yeah.
free risk reduction analysis and financial blueprint at 800-706-4741. Anderson Business Advisors will help you keep more of what you earn. Call us today at 800-706-4741 and mention Right Path Real Estate.
So what are you seeing with flood homes right now? Oh, I guess we're about to go wrong.
yeah, we can talk about that on the air.
All right, y'all, hot mics.
All right. Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you've got any questions about appraisals, I'm joined live in the studio with Michelle
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
I know. I'm getting used to it too.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Remix.
713-346-9911 is her number, and it's nextgenappraisals.com.
Yes.
So you do desktops, you do on-site appraisals.
Yes. Single family residence for lenders. We also do non-lender appraisals. And we will appraise 2 to 4 unit multifamily properties because those are still considered part of the residential sphere.
A fourplex, a duplex, a triplex, any of those.
Correct. Anything
Get to a
above 4.
fiveplex.
Yeah.
No,
No
just
fly.
not.
Yep. That's considered commercial at that point. It's a hard line.
So you don't do commercial.
No, we do not.
Okay, got it. So, all right. Well, after the show, I'd like to ask you a question about a particular property, but
Is it commercial?
so the easiest way to get a hold of you is calling you, or is it by website?
No, phone number is best. That goes directly to our office, and Peggy's our office manager. She'll pick up and take care of whatever you need and get it down the right route as far as, if you're ordering.
You want to
an
say
appraisal.
right path,
I
didn't you?
did, and I was like, man, that sounded kind of cliche, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll route it in the right direction and get that taken care of as far as ordering it or just answering your question. She's very knowledgeable. So
Okay, so every time you've been on, we do talk about flood houses.
I know it must be a hot topic right now.
Yeah. So are you seeing any retail movement in terms of, because we've got one property on the market right now that did flood. It's higher end.
Okay.
We've got it. We listed it at 749.9, which we felt like was a little bit above what the market should be, just to kind of test it. See,
Sure.
there's not a lot.
Easier to come down and go back up. Right?
Yeah, and so we actually had a pretty significant price reduction yesterday. Went it down to, and here's the thing is, it's always amazing to me when somebody says, well, 314 is the, ARV, and we've started using PFV as a terminology, the predicted future value, because it
Sure.
takes into more consideration than just running comps.
Following a trend versus the current value.
Well, and also giving the proper weight. It's part psychology, it's part 101. It's giving the proper weight to things like, is it on the corner of a busy street? Is it close to vacant or abandoned houses? Is it back up to power lines? Those kind of things that don't necessarily show up on the comps, but are going to have an impact on what makes this one property kind of unique.
Right. Well, those are things that should show up on the comps. If you have a property that's on a busy street and you get that report back and there's no comps that are on a busy street,
right.
You need to ask, did you take this into consideration?
Right.
Because there's no point in getting yourself into a situation.
But you and I both know that most investors, especially when they're brand new, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to be able to make the highest offer because they want to. It's almost like they feel like they're going into an auction situation.
Yeah.
And they want to be able to, be the highest bid because it's as if that bid is going to be able to get them, what they want.
Sure.
And
well, I always say, I was taught at a young age, at least, is that, prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yes.
And I think a lot of investors bank on best case scenario.
Yeah, right. Everything's going to work out perfect, right?
They bank on, okay, we're not going to need any more repairs than just a few cosmetics, and you get in and the roof needs to be replaced or foundation or even windows sometimes. I always, as far as like common mistakes go for new investors, that's what I see a lot is okay, someone told me it's, we could even get maybe 350 for it. So if we get 350 and they'll lend us this much, and then at the end of the day, you probably spent 6 months of your life.
Right.
And you might make money off of
right.
it when you finally get that end. You're
or
exiting
you see a number, they'll go, I think I can sell it for 314, and it's like, that's such a weird number.
That's a very specific number.
Yeah, right. And so, we like to look at numbers in $25,000 increments. You're either just below 350, or you're just below 325, or you're just below 300. That's.
So if you got an appraisal back at 314, you would round that down then.
We'd be looking 299, 299.9.
Yeah.
We know how ladies buy shoes. It's $299.9.
Is that
right? Yeah, because to them it's $200,000, right? It's not $300.
Is it?
I'm just playing. So Brian says, tell me about flooded property appraisals. How do you assess the ARVs?
So before we had any closed data on the market, we were just going by what was already in flood zones, because they already had that predisposition to flooding again.
Yep.
And so there was already that risk to whoever the potential buyer was. Right now, it's touch and go as far as what market you're in. If you have any closed sales that flooded, rehabbed, and resold.
So what happens if you've got let's say I go into some place like Bear Creek and there's closed sales of flooded houses that have not been rehabbed, right?
Correct.
So they're down to the sticks, and now I go and rehab a property, but that's technically a sold comp. Does that comp to my property? How much does that affect the value?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to take it out of context and put it in a different scenario. If you're in a neighborhood and there was one foreclosure or 5 foreclosures, but that's not the predominant activity that's happening on the market, would those foreclosures be good comps to you? Not. Most likely not, because they're not reflective of that market.
Right.
So the same thing is with flood properties. Yes, those are homes being flooded, sold in as-is condition, but they're not reflective of your rehabbed property.
Correct.
And everyone has a different risk analysis that they use, a different entrepreneurial risk if you're an investor, or if you're an individual buying retail side, what's the risk as far as how much am I going to have to spend to fix it? Am I just trying to break even so I can live in this neighborhood, or do I want to make a little equity on it? So using as-is comps as your direct comps to a rehab property is usually not going to end up with an accurate value. If you have to do it, you can.
You're basically saying if an investor's doing that, that's not going to be accurate. But do you do it as an appraiser? Do I have to worry about that I'm going to have a lower value when I'm trying to sell it retail because an appraiser is going to comp that?
Sure. I have not had to do that.
Okay.
Any neighborhood that I've been appraising flooded properties in, it's an option. It's not like it's off the table completely, but it's kind of one of those last resort.
Because what I'm worried about is I sell a property. I plan on selling a property for $175, and another property right down the street that's not. I mean, it's down to the sticks. There's no sheetrock in it, and they sold for $110. And now I've got a retail buyer wanting to buy mine, not a buy and hold landlord. I've got a retail buyer wants to live there, and now I've got to get it past the appraisal process of Chase Mortgage or Wells Fargo or whoever the Fannie Mae qualified lender is.
So I guess if we had to use that comp, right? That flooded.
Yeah.
In appraisal, appraising, we have to use what's called cost to cure.
Okay.
The definition's in the name. And so we're going to say, okay, this is sold for $280. It's going to take, we'll say $50,000 to repair it. So now that comp's adjusted value will come to $330, right? Did I do my math right? Yeah. Usually that's not a true reflection. Cost to cure works really well when you're in a scenario where it's just one or two things that need to be
when it's
replaced.
tile, wood floor, or something like that, right?
Even I wouldn't even say that. I would say like the water heater needs to be replaced. Okay, so the water heater's old, so I'll add $300 here, and that's what the value.
You get a water heater done for $300?
Well, I'm making up numbers. Don't put me on the spot like that. I didn't do my research before the show.
I'm like, dang, I can't get one done for less than $750.
I guess it depends on the house. Come on, Tom.
I'm sorry.
So anyways, that's a true reflection of cost to cure.
Sure.
Because it's a water heater. I can price that out easily.
Right.
Okay, knock the price down to what the water heater costs, and that's what the value of that home is. But once you get into more and more and more ticket items, and it's kind of an anxiety for most people. It's like, oh my God, like y'all's event y'all had with that mold house, right? Most people, even investors, will run away from that because of the anxiety.
999.9 out of 1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's what you're trying to measure. And that's not really quantifiable. You can't really say, okay, well, the anxiety
That's why I've been using that PFV. Is
right?
that right? Yeah.
So that's why when you're using as-is flooded comps and then you're adding how much it is to repair the home, which I don't truly know how much it would be to repair that home because I didn't walk the home if it's a comp. And I'm not a contractor too, so that's double issues you have with that one, but. Yeah, you can do it. It's just kind of a last resort scenario.
Okay, so what are you seeing in terms of on the retail side of these flooded houses? Are you seeing any of these retail selling?
I'm seeing some sell. I'm seeing a slight dip.
Okay. Is that 5%? Is that 10%?
5%.
5%.
The one I just looked at, 5%.
And what price range house is that? Because I'm wondering.
About $350.
So a 5% dip in the $350 price range.
It's about a $15,000 dip, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Which is not huge, and it was a once flooded house, I assume, right? Not a 3-time or anything like that.
It's a twice flooded house.
Okay. So only 5% on a twice flooded house.
It was a tax day flood as well as the Harvey flood, right?
Yeah, not Memorial Day.
No, not Memorial Day. But the thing with this particular neighborhood that we're talking about, which is why I'm saying it's it's a necessity to go market to market. I can't tell you, okay, well, so now every house is going to have a 5% hit.
The Bear Creek's going to be different from, right.
So but this particular neighborhood has a really strong school district.
Yeah.
And so some are saying, okay, well, and the other thing that's kind of ironic about this is it's not in a flood zone. Or it's in a 500-year floodplain.
Right.
And you're not required to get flood insurance. And the flood insurance on a 500-year floodplain is cheaper.
It is.
Than a 100-year floodplain. Significantly cheaper. So someone is looking at that saying, okay, well, I can have flood insurance, right? Yeah, I'm going to pay. I'm going to say $300 again,
right? Sure.
A year for flood insurance.
$450.
Okay,
it's just
it's going to happen. But yeah, someone's going to analyze that risk and say, okay, this is worth it to me because now we can afford into this neighborhood. We'll just pay the flood insurance into your. In case it happens again, but now we're in a good home in a good school district. And it's a beautiful home.
Yeah, we'll keep all our important stuff, all our papers on the second floor.
Second floor, yeah. Right. And it was a 2-story, actually. It was a 3,500 square foot beautiful home back to a creek.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used to be a plus. Now it's not so much.
Right. Okay, so it's I'm joined live in the studio, nextgenappraisals.com, 713-346-9911, 713-346-9911. How long does it typically take you to get out, do either a desktop appraisal or a live in-person appraisal?
I like your new terminology for the regular appraisals. So a regular appraisal where we go out to the property, we're committed to staying under 5 business days.
Okay.
And that's anybody, lenders.
But you're averaging how long? 5 days?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say we're committed to 5 days. If you need, the reason being is that inevitably someone's going to call and say, "I need a property in 24 hours."
Right, yeah.
Or we forgot to order it, et cetera, et cetera. And so, even if we can get it done sooner, I'm still going to say 5 business days. But if you need a rush, like what we were just talking about, if you need it sooner, call us and we'll take care of it. And desktops are 2 business days always.
Okay, my music says I'm out of time. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our number is 713-785-1817.
Property. The problem is you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started NextGen Appraisals. NextGen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Taxes. Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset protection for real estate investors throughout the country. Our unique philosophy has CPAs, lawyers, bookkeepers, and estate planners with one common goal, helping you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at AndersonAdvisors.com. And don't forget to tell us you heard about us at Right Path Real Estate.
For stain and finish.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication.
Yeah, that sounds real cheap.
You'll have a dedicated team
for stain
of a
and finish?
coordinator and a contract
for 40
close
inches.
associate.
Yeah.
Give me a call today at 713-579-3611.
So you just all you gotta do is just put it in.
How we can help you, on your
you
next
do the white risers,
and
then just put it in afterwards.
Yeah.
Real estate investors.
Oh, that's not an installed price?
No. That's just
he's just okay. That's him. He's just so who's gonna install them?
Educational classes, networking
okay.
opportunities, and the ability to
okay.
trillions of dollars for real
Interesting.
estate investing deals.
Does he? Will he install? Will that guy?
So.
Yeah, I'd want the same guy staying and installing, because in that way, if there's any touch up or things like that on the job site, he's responsible for that. Otherwise, you get an installer and they're gonna go like.
right.
Selecting a foundation company and their product.
But no, he like I said, I use his
you simply don't
one
know
flooring
what
guy
you're
over
gonna
on
get.
Fuquay.
The foundation
Yeah.
repair industry as a whole
I know a lot of
doesn't
people
carry a license. nor
They
is it
use him?
regulated.
And then
However,
actually
Foundation
referred me
Check
out
utilizes
to this guy
professional
who does the
engineers
install,
to
which
review
usually
all
was
of our
their job.
files to give you the best foundation
Cool.
analysis in today's market.
Wow.
Remember to check for
Yeah, who's the one on Fuquay and 45?
It's Bob Wilson.
Oh.
Or you can reach us online.
I know a lot of flippers.
That goes on you.
Probably helps if I don't have
Real
it.
estate investors, you need a lender that moves fast at the
Hey,
speed
how's
of a
how's he
jet
doing on
fund your
volume?
investment properties. Jet Lending will help you purchase
A little higher?
quickly
Okay.
with as little
Hey,
cash
Nikki.
out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also
How-
sets up
how
a
about that?
repair escrow fund
Testing,
to
testing.
help you with repair costs.
I'm sorry. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
For first-time
He's good?
investors and seasoned professionals.
Cool.
Call 281-872.
Hi, Anne Marie.
Or email
Hey,
us
JC.
at info@jetlending.com.
You know, that's the second person I've heard say Anne Marie. And I think of I'm like the singer, and they're like no, not the singer, Anne Marie.
No.
homeowners a better place to invest.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's like a popular song right now on the radio.
I don't listen to too much
Find
music.
out how JB Fund
No?
Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to
I either listen to
Call us today at
like educational CDs or book on tape, or I listen to satellite radio, and I listen to comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah, comedians.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
I mean, this morning I was listening to a Rockets fan podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. We did a quick change during the break. It's Jerry Todd, now live in the studio. He's with Property Care, propertycarehouston.com, 713-489-7653, 713-489-7653. So we're teaching a lot more. You know, Right Path used to teach a lot about buy, fix, and flip, and then also a lot about wholesaling, because that's primarily what our business, Houston House Buyers, has been. But we're shifting. We're doing a lot more helping people get buy and hold properties, because the numbers on buy and hold are just ridiculous right now as compared to anything else that you could invest in. So if people are not investing in buy and hold right now, they're really missing out on true wealth building and income building. And those two are separate. Building wealth and building income are different.
Right.
And so what are you seeing going on in the Houston market right now? Is a you know, a big concern people have is, you know, days on market in terms of leasing a property, things like that. How long are you seeing it's taken to lease properties? And is it, you know, better in spring or worse in spring? Is it, I mean, where are the hot areas? Where are the slow areas? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
yeah, I mean, you know, to go back to just real estate investing in general, you know, if you just consider the cash on cash return.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like, people don't think about that, but
it's even better than that. The best thing that we see right now is the appreciation.
But that's all unrealized, though.
I realize that, but that's
you realize that's funny.
I realize that's unrealized. And however, it's the leverage, because, you know, people are like, well, it's only appreciating at 7%, which doesn't sound all that great, right?
Right.
But it's a leverage 7%. Even if you bought a house retail at $150,000. And you had, and the bank says, hey, you know, Jerry, we need you to put, you know, 20% down, and you finance the 80%. You know, you're going to borrow $120 on 150 purchase, so you've got $30,000 in that house.
Right.
Well, it's going to grow. We're averaging right now in almost every market below $200,000.
Yeah.
It's averaging 7% per year appreciation.
Right.
7% on 150 is 10.5. That means that on appreciation alone, nothing else, you will make back your $30,000 out of pocket. In 3 years.
Right.
In 3 years.
Right.
That's ridiculous. There's nothing else that's making that kind of return anywhere.
And I tell you, I just had this conversation with a friend where they bought a house, 105, back in 2014.
Right.
Right. And it's gonna be on the market for like 160.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, we're only gonna 50. Oh, okay. Like, I don't know what other product is gonna give you 55,000 in return.
You wish you had 100 of those, right?
But I was like, no, you're thinking about it wrong.
Right.
How much cash did you actually put in?
Right.
You're netting, 55, but how much cash did you outlay in order to
we
make
were only
that?
$6,000 out of pocket, right?
Right.
Yeah, they made $55,000 on a $6,000 investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous return.
Yes, that's 10x. Right.
So that's the mindset. It's like, oh, well, I'm only netting, this much, or
it's only appreciating 7%.
I invested 105. Like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. No, right, you did not.
You only invested 6,000.
Right.
Or how much you put in cash.
Yeah, go try and do that with Exxon stock.
Right.
Yeah, go try and put $30,000 down and buy $150,000 with Exxon stock.
Or go borrow money
to buy stock.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you can't do that. Right, especially if the interest rates that you're borrowing. I mean, could you go get a personal? I mean, if your credit was great, and you had $1 million in the bank, they'd probably lend you $500,000 to go buy some stock.
And the other thing I point out is that you can touch it.
Yeah,
it's a tangible asset. It's not this like
I don't care
number on the screen.
We could go to war with Syria or whatever is going to end up happening. People still need a place to live,
right?
And it's like, as long as you're providing good housing for folks, it's like it's a crazy good investment right now. So where are some great areas where are people wanting to live right now as a rental? Is there a bad area for rentals?
There's always different pockets of neighborhoods.
Yeah,
and as far as sales and rentals goes, a lot of what drives sales is what drives rentals too, meaning schools.
Yeah.
People love, if you're moving from an apartment to a single family home, it's probably because you may have a family.
Sure.
And when you have
more importantly, you probably have a dog. You need a yard. You need a yard.
Something.
Yeah.
And schools is a big driving factor. That's why Katy, certain parts like Cimarron and stuff, they will always do well just because the schools perform so well over there. Accessibility. I find it way more difficult for houses deep in. Like if you're stuck on Louetta between 249 and 45.
Yeah.
That has a harder time getting rented out versus something that's closer to 45 or 240, 49.
Yeah.
So those are driving factors that I see. As far as a personal preference, I like a rental home next to a Home Depot.
Yeah. Right.
Just to make things easier as far as, getting things here and there. But those schools and accessibility are.
So really, if you were putting together a marketing plan, you'd find you'd do a map of the Home Depots around and just market the little within 1 mile radius of Home Depot, huh?
Preferably, so just to make my life a little easier sometimes.
Yeah, right. Now, do you go into Home Depot very often yourself?
Not so much.
Okay, you're not being honest, are you?
No, no.
Are you blushing?
No, I try. I actually got mad when I do go to Home Depot.
Yeah,
it's an online order.
Okay, got it.
And I just need something I get from Home Depot. I try to order first. I have a bad experience every single time I go to Home Depot, and I just hate going to stores. So again, my time is important. I hire a guy that knows everything I need to get from Home Depot. I do not step in Home Depot. He already knows what light fixtures, the usual. I don't step in Home unless it's like a one-off item. Like I want the specific item. I try to go there, but. Waiting in line, the online pickup is the same line as the returns.
Yes.
If you're stuck behind 4 or 5 people on returns, there goes your hour
or two,
or two,
right? Exactly.
It's I don't even know why I did an online pickup.
It's a $4.19 hose bib. I mean, really?
Yeah. Right. The idea was I did an online pickup so I could just in and out.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't expect to wait behind 5 people.
Right.
At Home Depot. So
yeah, that's frustrating.
Nuts.
All right, so if you need somebody to manage your properties, here's the thing. People say, well, Tom, I want to manage the first 1 or 2 or 3 by myself, and then once it gets bigger, then I want to go ahead and add property manager to what I'm doing. What would you say to somebody that's thinking like that?
Well, it's what your goals are. You got to ask yourself the question is, if I manage my own rental properties, would that help me buy or have 10 rentals that I was hoping to get?
Right.
Would that take away from it or would it help it? And I think, 10 times out of 10, the answer is going to be, it's actually going to hurt my ability to obtain, reach my goal of getting 10 rental properties at 20, 30, 40, 50 that I was wanting to get.
Well, I tell people, hey, look, there's a certain skill set to be good at property management. And like a lot of things in life, the more you do something, the better you get. But you also have to have an aptitude for that, right?
Right.
And so what I'd say is if you're not doing this on a regular basis, you're not going to be a 10 at this. Just do a self-evaluation. And people go, oh, well, there's not that much to it. Stick a sign in the yard. It's like, no. What I find is those are the people that end up with the tenants that you end up evicting over and over and over again. I love your statistics that you've shared with me before, that your eviction rate of tenants that you've screened is pretty close to 0%. Now, every now and then you're going to screen a guy. He had a great job, all that kind of stuff. He gets laid off. He didn't have, a year's worth of savings. I mean, he gets behind in his bills. Okay, he's not paying his rent.
Right.
It's just a sad situation, right? That's not that you did a poor job of screening. But short of that example, it's pretty close to 0% versus when you've inherited a property, that already had a tenant, you inherit the tenant because it came with the property. It's pretty much 100% eviction rate. I mean, that ought to tell you that the average person out there managing their own properties is not doing a very effective job of managing their own property.
Right.
I had a guy yesterday I spoke to on the phone talking to him about a property. He inherited a property, it has a tenant in it, and he said, look, we want to sell the property. And I go, well, what's your rental rate? First answer out of his mouth is, well, it's below market rents. I said, but of course, because you know what? No one's ever said, oh, we're getting way more than market rents. We're just slaughtering it. I'm like, everybody has below market rents, right? I mean, that's Otherwise, why would they? Yeah. And I'm like, well, it's always fascinating. That's the first thing when I say, well, how much are you charging in rent on this property? Oh, it's way below market rents right now. Do you run into that too?
I run that a lot. And the amount of times where I hear someone say that, if you run the numbers, like, you're actually losing money month to month.
Yes.
Like, I can see why you want to sell because it makes absolutely no sense for you at all.
Don't tell them that because we buy those houses because they're not good deals for those folks. Because they're
Yeah.
We actually bought a house one time and this guy was being charged. It was way below market rent, paying $400 a month.
Yeah.
And market rents were like $800 a month.
Yeah.
And so you know what we did? Next time his lease came up, we raised it to $800, and everybody was like, "Oh, you can't raise it that much because he'll leave, right? They can't. If he can only afford $400." And guess what? He was paying the $800. Where else is he going to go find him? We get this head trash where we assume people just do what you need to do and let people figure out what they need to do.
The other thing I get a lot, self-managers, right?
Yes.
Oh, I gave the tenant 1 month's rent for free because he fixed the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then we go in there and we're like,
you call this fixed? Duct tape is not a fix.
Yeah. Like, I mean, okay, the thing is like if they're going to do the flooring in the bathroom, it's never done.
Yeah, right.
The material is always laying somewhere in the house.
The tile is all out of whack, and they haven't laid the grout yet, right? And now you got all kinds of dirt and debris and stuff like that in the grout lines, and and they didn't use spacers, and they didn't use the right kind of thin set, or they didn't float the floor. It's all
uneven.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't. We actually have to undo what he did. Hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. That music says that we're out of time. It's propertycarehouston.com, propertycarehouston.com, 713-489-7653. Thanks for coming in, Jerry.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. Hey, I like having a show clock here. Thanks for that. All right, so we come back at 9:54.
Yeah, there's a caller who wants to talk about owner finance.
All right, cool. I'll do that. We'll do that right after the break. All right, cool.
We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Brian, you're more than welcome.
Benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are small returns getting in the way
Yeah,
of
yeah,
your
yeah.
retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906.
Hey, and Nikki,
or visit our website.
do you have Jackie Stinger's number?
281-915-0906.
No.
This
I look
investment
at my-
is offered to
in my
accredited
phone,
investors.
Let me do this. When we go off the air,
Is business 1110.
I'll give you some info.
Okay.
All right.
All right, here we go.
All
Hot
right.
mics, and it's Jim. I was on the phone.
Okay. Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Want to get straight to the phone line. Jim, you are on the air. How can I help you?
Tom, love your show, man. I got a question for you. I'm considering doing owner financing on a property.
To sell an owner finance
and
property?
I'm wondering if you have a recommendation. Pardon me?
To sell a property owner finance?
Yes, I want to provide that option.
Okay.
And
What price range is the house?
do you have? Pardon me?
What price range is the house?
$465.
Okay, got it.
And so I'm looking for if you have a recommendation for somebody that can handle the servicing, the managing of it, the qualifications. You know, do you have
Yeah, so they're two separate companies. You have to get an NMLO and you have to get an NMLS. An NMLO is a National Mortgage Loan Originator, and the NMLS is a loan servicer. And what I do is reach out. You'll work more with the servicer. And so give Steve Skillern a call, Skillern. And if you'll email support@rightpathrealestate.com, and you can get the information from Veronica, support@rightpathrealestate.com, and its name is Steve Skillern. And he has a guy that he recommends for an NMLO. Yeah. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
I think it's Prime Loan Services is the name of his company. So, okay, thanks, Jim.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay. So I want everybody else that's still listening to go to rightpathrealestate.com, take a look at the events that we've got coming up. Jason's doing an event tonight. He's talking about the pathway to income and wealth in real estate. It's going to be a fantastic event. It's rare that Jason himself actually does this event. And it's the last event that we're going to have on a Thursday night until the Thursday right before the weekend retreat. We also are going to have everybody listening up in Dallas, watching us on the Book of Faces. All you need to do is go to Eventbrite. We've got an event coming up at Gillies in Dallas next Wednesday. We also have a bus tour next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, Cinco de Mayo. We're going to be taking investors out on to take a look at properties. And what's always amazing is to see how bad these properties look. Most of the properties that you were going to go see, or a few of the properties we're going to go see, people go, oh my gosh, there's no way I would ever consider buying something like this. And that's what we want you to see, is because people get overwhelmed by the shape that the house or the condition that the house is in right now. And what you don't realize is that you could have grandma's house and it's got outdated flooring that's vinyl, for example, and let's say that you're going to replace that with tile. But let's say I've got a house that's nasty, it's really dirty, the vinyl's all ripped up, things like that. It costs the exact same thing to replace both of those floors. So people get overwhelmed with what the current condition is, but that's not what it's going to look like when it's fixed up. So you've got to be able to have eyes to see, and that comes with practice. So you want to go to that. Then also our next weekend retreat is going to be in May. And so it's going to be the last time that you're going to have Jason and I together for 3 full days of training individually for the weekend. So that'll be the third weekend in May. Go to rightpathrealestate.com, register for that event. So those are 3 really important events we've got coming up. The bus tour, the event up in Dallas at Gillies, You've got the Pathway to Income and Wealth workshop that Jason's going to be doing tonight, and then our weekend retreat. It's the last time it's going to be $197. Price is going up significantly. If you want to take advantage of a bargain, do that. Thanks for listening, guys. Jason will be in the studio tomorrow with Investor Friday. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Buy lots of houses. I'm going to...
All right, Tom, what were you saying?
Yeah, I'm going to...